All right, guys, welcome to episode 108. We are joined with Stacy. She's just coming hot in off of, I think you're third? Yeah, third in the Great Plains Gravel Cup. So, yeah. Stacy, how's it going?
It's going. Let me tell you, there's a lot of pressure being on the third step of the podium. Feeling the pressure going into Pony Express. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It's super fun to be involved. It's the first year I've actually done the Great Plains Gravel Cup. I've always done a few races in the spring and then tailed off. And this year I decided to dig in and go for it.
Yeah, what was the deciding factor of going in on the Gravel Cup? Did you just see how much fun everybody was having last year, and you're just like, I need some of that?
The deciding factor was the Wednesday before Rock Ridge when Bobby posted the overall results, and I was third on the podium. Led to some indecision over and stressing myself out over the next 2 days trying to decide if I really wanted to. I didn't want to race, but I really wanted to be a part of it. So no, Bobby posted that, and after having missed Solstice, I was still in third, and so I just thought, why not go up and do Rock Ridge and see what happens, and after that, decide if I'm going to do Pony Express or not. So here we are.
Yeah. That's the beauty of the drop race is you miss one race, you're not out of it. But I think for you, it just meant it just tied you up. Now you're all in on this thing.
Yeah, now she's all in.
Right.
So coming into this 2026 season, you were just like, oh, I'll just do a couple of these Great Plains Gravel Cup as you prepare for the Unbound 200, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Yep. That was the plan. Did we have? Yeah, we had 3 races this spring in the Gravel Cup: Flint Hills, and then Open Range, and then Mule Skinner.
Yeah. What do you think of? You've done Open Range before, I'm pretty sure.
I've been at one other time in 2024 as a Unbound warm up once again that year.
I think that was the tornado year. Was it?
No,
that was
2 years ago. You said 2024?
Mm-hmm.
I think 2025.
Oh, 24. What? Well,
it was
we got hit by tornadoes, but I think there were tornadoes just rolling up to the east of the race course.
That's right.
I remember voice texting my mom throughout the race as I saw dark clouds, asking if I needed to pay attention or not.
Oh, doing the same thing. My mom kept texting me that day too, and she's like, "Are you riding your Medicine Lodge?" And I'm like, it's a little further away. She's like glued to the Weather Channel.
I think our moms were doing the same things that day.
Yeah, just watching. Yeah, anytime she hears I'm riding out in Kansas, she just thinks there's like some tornado gonna just come and sweep me away.
I mean, for good reason.
Yeah. So, but so then, Flint Hills, that was rainy. What do you remember? What place you came in on that one?
I don't. I was not on the Gravel Cup podium after Flint Hills.
Yeah.
I might have been.
I happen to be looking at it.
9th overall.
Yeah, you had 33 points at the Flint Hills, so that would be 9th, right?
Yeah,
it's 42. Yeah, so 9th place.
Flint Hills was like there was a lot of hitters at that first race. So,
well, that's such a mixed bag too, because at that point, nobody's really committed to the full cup yet.
Yeah.
And so to your point, you got a lot of hitters and everybody wants to get out in that first race and just kind of see where everything's at.
Yeah, test the legs, make sure that the winter season was good.
That's right. Yeah. So spend all that fitness in one race.
Exactly. Yeah, and then we move on to Open Range. And how'd you do on this year's event?
Open Range was really good this year. This was the second time I've done it, and this year I had a friend that I rode with the whole time, so that was new this year. It was just kind of a nice, even race for me. You guys probably noticed this, and I know you talked about it in your podcast after the race, but the difficulty level of Open Range this year ratcheted up, but almost double with the blow sand in the roads.
Yeah.
That was some serious deep sand that made it interesting. But range was a great day. That course is beautiful, and it was just a even ride. That's kind of what I was going for. It was just my Unbound nutrition and just long ride prep. So
Yeah.
went
Yeah,
well.
we use that for Unbound too. It's such a like I always tell people like if you can ride open range in whatever conditions that it seems to throw at you, you're going to be able to do Unbound. Like
Yeah.
I haven't found it to be, any less or greater than any other race for sure. It's just so much. You learn. It's long enough so that you learn if your nutrition is good, and there's just enough challenge that it keeps you
honest.
keeps you honest. So
Did you guys have hail damage on your cars after that race?
No.
no, we left right after the race, and we went to when we were in Wichita. We couldn't even see the road.
Yeah,
it was
flooded out.
raining so bad.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a white knuckle ride home for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I heard. I mean, what and actually, what is it with the weather this year? Because it happened at Unbound as well,
Yeah.
where giant storm comes in,
Wait,
late in the day.
The weather was bad at Unbound?
What? I thought it was a great day.
We're going to talk about that here in a minute. So.
Yeah. So then you get to Mule Skinner, and how was that? I mean, that's like basically, they just try to recreate, Opal Wapoo.
I think so. Yeah, the back half of that race,
Yeah,
it essentially is a repeat of Opal Wapoo. That was a great day this year. I think after Mule Skinner, I moved into briefly. I think I might have been second on the podium for the gravel series, either second or third. But either way, somehow I had my fastest mile per hour average that I've ever had at Mule Skinner. Not by a ton, but it was a good day. So I kind of did pedal to the metal as much as I could with a little bit of a shorter distance, if you want to call that a shorter distance.
Yeah. Did you were you riding with a group, or were you solo, or
kind of both? Most of the races that I've done this year, I don't stick with the very, very front pack, but when I start the races, as you guys have noticed, I've seen you at a lot of the starts. I try to draft as long as I can, and so I'm riding. Shoot, after a couple of starts this year, I've been riding at FTP, which is not good.
Same. We all ride at FTP at the start,
right?
So I try to just start with the front group and hang on and get a feel for where I'm at in the female placings, because since there's less females doing a race, and then I'll kind of back off and ride my own race, kind of knowing a little bit of where I'm at, and if there's people around that from time to time I can latch onto, I will.
That's smart.
Yeah, I wish I had that kind of discipline.
Yeah,
I don't.
Danny just rides hard, blows up, and then noodles in.
Complain about my nutrition later on.
Complain about other stuff.
We all do it. We all do it.
Blame my fitness.
Yeah, blame the fitness. That's
been this year.
That's me. This year. The nutrition's dialed this year, but the fitness is not there.
Not so much. So as you kind of get ready for, well, we can talk about.
Let's talk about. So then the next big race would be Unbound, right?
Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure, like on your calendar, that's probably the big star, like it is for us.
Yeah.
So this year, going into Unbound, I know there was the big fear of the mud and all that stuff. Were you falling into the hype? Were you changing your tires the night before? Or
no? I was pretty locked in on my tires, whether it's mud or not mud. I ride Pathfinder Pros, so I just felt confident no matter which way the weather fell, which, as it turns out, it fell both ways. So,
and then added a little extra there at the end.
Yeah, right.
For everybody who was stuck out on course after the sun went down.
So I want to hear the story. So talk us through the back half of Unbound, because like the first half of Unbound, I think everybody knows about the rainstorms that came through initially. It kind of cleared up, turned into a typical Unbound kind of day, right? The sun came out, it started to heat up, the humidity, but then as the sun went down, kind of talk us through what happened in that whole time frame, and then the ending of the race for you. I'm interested to hear this story.
Yeah, so we were at Council Grove before sundown, which was it 160, 165, somewhere around there.
Somewhere in
Yeah,
there.
around there. Yeah,
Yeah.
like yeah.
And
There was only like 40 miles to the end, so it was like
Yeah.
165 or something like that.
only 40.
Only.
I know.
That's all it is.
That's all it
It's
is.
just a
Especially
short.
my story, and the only does not even apply.
Stacy, it was only 40 miles.
It's only 40 miles.
You know,
Stacey.
that's just
grueling, crushing, soul crushing gravel.
Yeah, I mean, it's just another Sunday ride. I mean, after you've already done 3 others, but that's beside the point.
It could feel that way, right? When you have that much left in a race with normal conditions, but we all know that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
But this was my 3rd time running Unbound. It was my first time that I had somebody riding with me the whole time. So a buddy of ours, we rode together the whole race, which was super nice. And we left Council Grove, and we were riding on the nature trail as it was probably starting to get to be dusk, and you come out of the nature trail and you're in a little bit of a flat area, and you start going up a hill, and you just you're climbing until you get to DD, which was the last pardon me, MMR of the course. And I know I've cleaned DD at least twice. The last time I did Unbound, and it was at night, and it was still doable, but the other time I believe was during Flint Hills Gravel. So as you guys know, that road, you can clean it as long as you just have sight lines and pay attention. Right. But the whole time we're climbing, there is where were you guys at in the race when it was lightning? Were you done?
I was done. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Danny was still out on course.
No, I was done.
Yeah, that storm was coming in. But see, that part, I got really sick when I was riding with Jackson. So on that hill, basically I kind of messed up my line because I was kind of getting nauseous, and I almost went into that. Like there was a big rutted out, like just washed out little culvert there. So I almost fell into that. And then I got back on the bike, and I basically almost threw up at the top because I was just cooked.
Yeah. See, it was bad enough. I'm not really remembering any of what you guys are talking about.
Danny just blanked out and just kept pedaling.
Well, as we were climbing up towards DD, you could just see lightning.
Yeah.
Everywhere. It felt like 360 degrees. And that's when you start questioning your life decisions. Like, is this the smartest thing to be out here? But what else do you do at that point?
Well, yeah, there's not like there's houses around or anything. Like you just, you're just out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we just kept saying, please let us get through DD before the storm hits. But it was almost like clockwork right before we turned on DD, just sideways rain, lightning, wind. And that made DD really treacherous to ride, really treacherous. The ruts where the roads kind of rutted out that you can usually ride through was really slick. And so you're in the dark and you just feel your bike just start to slip. And I'd usually put a foot down. I didn't want to bite it. And then rolling up the hills with the huge rocks, they were getting slick from being wet. So I'd lose my traction and have to walk the rest of the hill. But the crazy thing is that DD was really crowded at the time that we were on it. That was interesting. So not only did you have to navigate the sketchiness of the road, but you had to navigate people everywhere. And luckily the two of us cleaned DD, but we've actually talked several times after the fact that our buddy Scott would get to the top of the hill and notice that I wasn't next to him, and he'd stop and wait, but he'd only see like headlights coming towards him.
Right. He's
just hoping that I'm going to make it. And so as soon as I could see, make out that it was him up ahead, I'd be like, hey, I'm here. But we got through DD, and as you get through Lake Cahola, it was just pouring rain, and you were on some more normal roads at that time, except as you guys know, there was just standing water everywhere.
Yeah, because as you go back in through Americus, it's all just flat farmland. And so, just everything's just going to stand on the road.
Yeah, and I remember at one point, it just felt just like that, I got chilled. It seemed like in 5 seconds, all of a sudden was freezing. So stopped, and I always, in Unbound, carry a wind jacket with me, and so put that on. And, it was still pouring rain when we got to Americus, and I remember saying to everybody around us, like, hey, all we have to do is turn south off of the pavement. It's flat. And right when you turn south off of the pavement in Americus, it was like slimy fishtailing mud.
Yep.
We weren't quite we were 190 whatever miles into the race, and I just somebody near us just bit it, and I just remembered thinking, I'm so fatigued that if my bike slips, I don't know if I'm going to have the reaction time to keep it upright, which was fine. We made it. And then honestly, as much as I could, I just started hammering it to the end because it was still lightning. And I remember at times it just seemed like it just kept pouring harder and harder and harder. So from mile, I don't know what mile you were at when you hit DD one.
It's about, I want to say it's like maybe 165, 170, somewhere there maybe.
Yeah.
So from there until mile 207, it was just pouring. It was either sideways rain or pouring. So it turned into a slog, and it took a while to finish because of that. So, but it's you look back and bad decisions make for good stories. So
well, that and then it's like, well, what's the other option? You head back to Council Grove. I mean, and then you wait it out. Like, you don't know how long the storm's going to last. You know, like it's not like our Garmin's giving you updates to how long the storm's going. So it's like, you kind of just make the decision and just kind of like, I think everybody does this at some point, and you make the decision and you're just like, well, that's what I decided, and that's what we're doing. And then, until something else happens, and then you got to make another decision.
Yeah. Exactly. So it was just at that point, it was just, to use a running term, one foot in front of the other.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. It's pretty wild because at the finish line, they had shut everything down, right? And because the high winds, the winds started.
They were saying like 50-mile-an-hour winds, and it they went through and they basically had everybody close shop and everything, and they barely got it down before that storm started hitting.
Yeah, it was crazy. So I was just thinking, like, I can't imagine being out on the bike in the middle of that type of torrential downpour, heavy winds. I heard stories about people ducking into barns and everything else. And I mean, the thing is, like you said, especially around Americus, you hit some of those real slippery sections, like to ride 190 plus miles and the potential to have your bike go out from under you and possibly have to DNF because of that. I couldn't even imagine. Like, that's a lot of stress. Like, I know that's not going through your head when you're riding, but it's like, wow, that's a lot to go through. So yeah. I mean, that's a huge, to your point, bad decisions make for good stories, but that's a huge accomplishment to finish that off, because I think a lot of people probably just stopped, if I had to guess. Like, there were a lot of people, probably people behind you, that probably just stopped because they're like, what do I do? Where do I go?
Had it been my first time at Unbound, or had there been the combination of it being my first Unbound and riding by myself, I don't know what I would have done. I don't know if there would have been at some point in the day, because as you guys know, there were other challenging parts of the day with different storms moving through and different weather conditions and tailing type mud that just made it just all in all a pretty crazy day.
Yeah. So you asked us something after Rock Ridge about, do you guys feel the effect of Unbound? Is like the post Unbound hangover? And that's actually something we had been talking about before you even asked that question. I was like, wow. I mean, we were talking about it. You asked us about it. Some other riders we talked to have talked about it. So what kind of effect did you feel after Unbound, and what kind of effect did it have on not just your fitness, but your training and just sort of your overall approach?
I think for me, the post Unbound effect was more mental than physical. Of course, you have the physical effect from it. A little over a week later, we did a ride to go get cinnamon rolls, and I remember just still feeling kind of fatigued, which is normal, right?
Yeah.
And my coach, much to his chagrin, for the next, I think, 2 weeks, I was not paying attention to my training plan. I was going on walks. I went on a couple of jogs. I swam laps, and just to try to do some different things. And I think a break from training, I didn't know if I was going to continue working with the coach after Unbound, just because I wasn't going to race again.
Yeah.
that's what made the decision about whether to go do Rock Ridge so difficult. Literally from Wednesday to 4 a.m. Saturday morning, I couldn't decide because the excitement of racing was there, but I was like, but do I really want to go?
Yeah.
Do I want to think about getting all this nutrition together and all the stuff you have to do before a race of that distance? And the answer was I didn't, but the excitement of racing won out. But to answer your question, yeah, I almost feel like the hangover this year from Unbound was definitely more mental than physical. And I think, I mean, all the normal aspects go into that, right? You dedicate so much concentrated training leading up to it, which I always need a mental break from. But the day itself felt like it was so much more mentally taxing than the previous Unbound that I did. And at least from my standpoint, the weather probably just led to a lot of that because it wasn't anything that I expected. It wasn't anything anybody expected. And we all kind of had to audible all day long and just to try to stay upright because there was some pretty gnarly stuff.
It's not like, in our training, we're like, all right, it's going to be thundering and lightning and,
40-mile-an-hour side wind.
Yeah, side wind and sheets of rain. It's time for me to go get my bike ride in. Like, it's like nobody goes out and actively trains in that weather. Right. So it's like, yeah, I think I'm in agreement with you that it was more mental. Like I didn't feel physically tired, but man, I was, by the end of the ride, I was just like just basically functioning on instinct because I was just not. I was just worthless because just to the mental challenge of keeping your bike up and then also like making sure you're doing your nutrition as it's thundering and lightning and there's just am I going to get hit? Am I not going to get hit? Is the storm moving? Is it not moving? Is it getting closer? Like you're just trying to like look around and like make sure. And then there's just mud there. I don't know about you, but there was mud all over my sunglasses. So I could only see out of a little spot.
That's why I wasn't worried about it. Cause I couldn't see the lightning that was, hitting within less than a mile away because you could see the flash, then you could hear the thunder. You could do the counting, right? The old trick. But like I couldn't actually physically see the bolt of lightning because there's so much mud on my glasses. So it actually was really nice. Like I'm like, well, this is good. I mean, I guess if it strikes me, I won't actually.
I won't see it come in.
Right. No, I mean, all that aside, I mean, it was a day. Yeah, that's for sure. But, I think those types of days though, that's what I know we talk about open range a lot and obviously Unbound and all the mud years that we've been through and everything. But to me, like those are the types of rides that like can take you to a new level as a cyclist and as an athlete, because like those are the ones you look back on, you're like, it'll never be as bad as that was. And then of course,
and then it ones up it,
and you're like, wait a minute.
I don't know if you guys remember the roads leading into Matfield Green, which was the 100-mile extension. You were going straight east for 7 or 8 miles.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys had this condition, but before we got there, a storm had moved through. We didn't get stormed on, but I remember Phil and our friend Scott, who was riding with me, his wife and family were in Matfield Green when the storm hit, and Phil showed me a video of it later. But the second we turned east, we like turned into I'm going to guess like a 25-mile-an-hour, just straight on headwind.
Mm-hmm.
And the road was so slick. It was like a 3 or 4 inch layer of slick mud on top of hard pack mud. And fighting that and the headwind.
Yeah.
And so our friend Scott's he's done a bunch of Ironmans. He's done Unbound before, marathons. I ran Boston in a nor'easter and have done Unbound before and did Unbound the last time that there was the mud year. And he reminded me after the race, because I totally forgot about this, but about 6 or so miles in, we weren't quite to Matfield Green yet. He reminded me that I turned to him and said, I think this is the hardest thing I've ever faced ever.
Yeah.
And this little section broke me more than anything else in the race. It was something that like like a Subway sandwich and a Coke couldn't fix it.
Yeah, that section there pretty much broke me too, but it was right before that storm came through. So I got the storm after Matfield Green,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
luckily, like we pre-rode it, so I kind of knew the roads, even though I couldn't see anything. So I was just like, okay, this line I gotta go
Yeah.
kind of the middle here, and like don't go into the rut here. And but yeah, before that storm came, the mud on that section, that east section, was just sticky.
Mm-hmm.
It was just sticky mud, and it wasn't sticky enough that it stuck to your tire, but
Mm-hmm.
it was
dragging
it
you.
was drag. It just like felt like it was just like your like tacky tape just like pulling over it the whole time.
Like
It was
riding on
just,
Velcro.
yeah, it was just like, and you could just, and I was passing people because I'm just putting out like my normal tempo effort, and like people would like surge and then they would like fall back, and because they're trying to like get through it as fast as you can, and I'm like, you just have to keep rolling, man. You can't just attack it, and because it's just gonna wear you out. And
Yeah.
and, and basically to our credit, the ones of us that finished it, we did better than Roman Bardet, who is a world tour pro.
Yeah.
He made it to Matfield Green and said nope.
Said peace out.
Yeah.
So that was a nice humble brag, by the way, that you rode tempo, passing everybody. I appreciate that.
No, just on that section. No, like again, I mean, when you get to those section, my feeling is always steady effort.
Yeah.
Never try to increase, never try to decrease. Just keep moving forward at whatever effort you're doing. And if you're going 5 miles an hour, then it's 5 miles an hour. If you're going 10, then 10. If you're going 2, then try to keep it up.
Right. And Stacy, I don't know the timing difference, like where you were at versus myself and versus Travis. Like I like to know, but that section you're talking about, I do remember that. I think I was riding while it was raining there, or it had just started raining, and because the group I was in, what you're talking about, Travis, the group I was in, the 2 guys were trying to take the lead on it, and they kept doing exactly that, trying to surge. And every time they would take the pull, they would surge. So I'm just like, whatever, I just drop back, because I'm like, I'm not going to play that game, right? And so I think in those types of situations, the best thing you can do is just go back to what you ride your race. And that's what, Stacy, you said that at the beginning, like your approach is typically, I'll hang with the group as long as I can, but then I'm going to ride my race after that. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the best advice people could take out of any of this, is like, just ride your race at some point, because at the end of the day, the steadiness of your effort is what's going to get you further than all these, games or whatever that other people are doing. So,
yeah. And and if they're, again, I always look at it as like, if they're not putting in steady effort, that means that they probably don't have experience with the terrain or the conditions. And you're like, I don't know if that's a wheel I want to be behind.
That's a good point. That's a good point. You do a real good job of picking out the wheels to stay away from.
Yeah.
So, that's good. To kind of pivot a little bit back to the Great Plains. So you're sitting third, and I was just checking the standings, like kind of as we've been talking here. I mean, there's not a lot of separation between you and second place and you and fourth and even fifth place. So that's going to be quite a battle. So we're going to ask you the same kind of question I've asked some of the other folks we've had on recently. Like, what, I don't want you to give away any tactics or anything, but like, what is your approach kind of heading into the final race?
So my plan for this year was to work with my coach through Unbound, and then stop and just do my normal fitness levels. But
and right now your coach is going, all right, more monthly fee.
Yep.
So I decided to continue with my coach through Pony Express, which is Kent Werman with Move Up. I've worked with him with the previous 2 Unbounds that I've done, and never had an issue turning the pedals and with any of the Unbounds, and just noticed such improvement with my cycling with that type of plan, because I haven't been a full-time cyclist for that long. I think there's still some ceiling there that I haven't reached yet, but that's besides the point. So working with Kent and still doing some long rides here and there, doing intervals every week, fitting in some mountain biking, because I'm doing that mostly for enjoyment. We actually have a brand new mountain bike trail a mile from our house, so it's pretty easy to go ride. But I've noticed that doing the mountain biking, I think I feel some surge type power
Yeah.
because that's what mountain biking gives you, right?
Right.
So,
Yep.
but just kind of continuing with the same theme of training that I did through Unbound, except for a little bit less volume. And then, most importantly, which is what I did not do for Rock Ridge, there will be a build up and a taper
Yeah.
leading up because I kind of skidded in sideways to Rock Ridge. And if you want to list out how to not race, my story it would be the poster child for that. So that's just my loose plan is
Yeah.
just stick with the training plan. I'll only have a week off of training when I go on a backpacking trip in August. Aside from that, it'll just be training as normal leading up to it.
Yeah, so I'm hearing Stacy's going to have fresh legs, a new ability to put on the attack and bring everybody along for the pain train.
Yeah.
So
We'll see. It's not easy fighting for third place champion.
yeah,
No.
that's true. I mean, I imagine there's going to be some marking going on, and the at least the ladies that are in fourth and fifth place, and maybe even down to sixth. I mean, you could see where if they want to take a shot at taking you off the podium, they're gonna have to put in some big work. And sounds like you're all ready for it though. So
Yeah.
it's good.
Yeah.
How have you found the competition with your fellow ladies going into the cup? I'm sure you guys kind of all talk and reminisce at the end.
Yeah. So so I think her name's Catherine Dixon in fourth. I've seen her at pretty much every race. Clearly, we've finished super close to each other. She's a super strong rider. I never really knew of her until this year, and I think she did Unbound as well. And I know in the last race in Rock Ridge, I saw her before the race, and I'm like, okay, I just need to make sure I finish ahead of her.
Yeah.
Yep.
Climbing out of town. Thanks, Bobby, for that.
Right.
At FTP.
Yes.
When we finished that climb.
Yeah.
But late in the race, Catherine and I were riding near each other, and I totally cracked from the heat, and also cracked by not tapering. I did some unfortunate activities earlier in the week because I wasn't going to race, right? And so I was trying to get back into running and ran a few miles, lifted weights for the first time since Unbound.
Yeah.
Did a Tuesday night group ride that was a hammer fest, and I was sore from the get-go on that race. But anyway, all of that to say, it's been all in good fun. It's the one thing's for sure is in our area. I mean, really anywhere in the States is a gravel heavy area, but all of our races have a lot of similar following, and there's a lot of strong riders and a lot of friendly competition. I mean, I'm not vying for the win, so there's no reason to be cutthroat against each other.
Right.
So it's kind of fun just seeing the same people at the races, and because I'm trying to vie for the podium. This is really the first time that I've paid attention to competition like that. So it's kind of fun for me just to do for the first time. Like I said, we're not vying for the win, but it's kind of fun before a race to be like, okay, where's everybody at? What are they doing today? So I know if I see them.
Yeah. It adds a whole different dynamic to the event, right? I mean, it's you're no longer out there I mean, not that there's anything wrong with just riding to ride. I mean, that's what ultimately that's what it all comes down to. But I think it creates a dynamic that probably lets you express your fitness, in a more tactical way, and probably in a lot more fun, because you're going to be watching the ladies around you and just trying to figure out, okay, what do I really have to do to make sure I secure third place?
Yeah.
Or even, always possible to jump to second place. So I wouldn't rule that out either, although it's a bit of a gap, but I mean, at least preserve third.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think, in your riding career, and you get to a point kind of like where the distance or the elevation, it kind of doesn't bother you as much. You're like, okay, I know it's going to be a tough day, but it's going to be okay. I should be able to do it. And then you kind of like, in the very beginning of like when you're riding, it's just like, okay, can I make it to the end?
Yeah.
Now it's like, well, I should be able to make it to the end as long as I don't have like a mechanical,
Right.
or something totally, F's up and I'm screwed. Right. Like now it's like, but when you have the Cup series again, like we're paying attention to people and we're like, in the 30th place, like,
Right.
it's the same thing. It just kind of adds that little extra dynamic, that little extra like spice to the ride, and yeah, you kind of vibe for any points that you can get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's added a lot of fun to it.
So I don't know if the listeners know this or not, but Stacy and Phil run one of the hardest races in Missouri. So
that's right.
It's a little race called Opal Wapoo, and it used to be held the week after Unbound. Right? Is that right? Or was it the week
Probably
before?
2 weeks. It was usually one of
a
the
couple
last
weeks.
Saturdays in June. But
yeah, so basically it was
Unbound hangover. I mean, I'm sure people
right.
Yeah,
it was still real.
It's I mean, nothing like picking the hottest time of the year.
Yep. To do the most elevation in any place. Like when I saw this route, I was just like, back before it moved to October, it was just one of those routes that just looks like my heart after just riding it. It was just insane. I think it was like 6K of climbing over 100 miles or something like that is what I remember.
I had a year that was 8 or 9K.
Yeah. So it was all, it was just like every single hill that you guys could find.
Yeah.
We would ride up it at least twice.
And the crazy thing is that, and Phil is the route designer, so I wouldn't even begin to take credit for that, but he always bounces it off of me. And even just Sunday of this week, we went out and drove a potential new portion of the route.
Let's go.
Raising
Sweet.
my eyebrows there. We don't go out and search for the hardest hills possible.
I don't. No.
Don't cover for
we're
Phil.
not.
Don't be covering for
Those
Phil.
are the roads. Those are just the roads. That is this area is
there's just a road there. I've been through there, and there's other roads.
We're literally in the bluffs right before you hit the river bottoms. Hence
we don't ever go into the river bottoms. We just go
river bottoms.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I don't know if actually the first year we had Opal Wapoo, I think about 20 miles of the 100-mile course went into the river bottoms.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah.
Did you guys ride that one?
I didn't ride the first one, but I think Phil did one like, I don't know if it was maybe the Revenge or something where we rid in some of the river bottoms, and those were pretty nice.
Yeah.
But I know he got a lot of flack for putting the flat stuff in there.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. All I know is
not for me though.
Right. No, definitely not from you.
The one who matters.
All I know is that it's true. If anybody's wondering, it's true that the only difference between the original Opal Wapoo and the new Opal Wapoo is all the flat sections were removed.
Yes.
So, that is true.
The course is shorter, but all the climbs are the same.
Yep.
How did you get? How does this work?
How does this work?
It's not really meant to scare anybody off.
No, I think it's a great. I think what like you and Phil have done, and the city of Excelsior Springs have done to bring that race back, and the fact that it's in October, and then the last route, the route that we did last year, I thought was freaking amazing, because it was like climb, see something cool, then super flat to the next, climb, see something cool, and then flat to the next, and then it was just the flow of the race was just always like you were kind of doing something, and it just made it so enjoyable.
For sure.
I think a cool aspect of last year that we didn't have before was the weather. We saw you were talking about how hot it has been in the past, and I think the heat created some additional suffering that you just didn't see a lot of last year. I think a lot higher percentage of people had a good day because we had really good weather. I don't even
Right.
remember what the highs were. It might have been low 80s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was like
70s to low
70,
80s.
low
Yeah.
80s. It was probably like one of the best days to ride in October.
Right.
So we lucked out there. And I've ridden the Opal Wapoo in the beginning, back when it was in June, and it was 100 plus
Oh yeah.
in the valleys, and it
It's
was
brutal.
miserable. We were shading off, just overheating,
Yeah.
just because it was so hot.
Yeah, and we were on that weekend specifically because it was a part of the Excelsior Springs Waterfest.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it was tagged onto the Waterfest, which is just how that date naturally came about. And then when we decided to bring the race back, we knew we didn't want to do a June race again just because the previous couple of versions had been so hot, and we just didn't like seeing people suffering because of the heat.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want them to suffer because of the course.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly. Not because of the weather.
You know, the good thing is, I can tell that word has gotten around a little bit more this year versus last year in terms of awareness that the race is back. There are multiple people that I've crossed paths with that are saying, "Oh yeah, I'm going to do Opal Wapoo this year," and I'm like, "That's freaking awesome!" Because like they weren't even gravel cyclists. Like
Yeah.
they normally would not be gravel. And I'm like, "Wait," I said, and I did. I stopped. And I said, "You do know what you signed up for, right?" And they said, "Of course." Now, I think you're going to get a lot of interest in some of the shorter courses as well. I hope, because to me that's sort of the entry point. That's like, if we can
Yeah.
get more people in on that short course and then bring them back for the longer courses in future years, that would be, because that's how you grow the sport.
Yep.
In my mind, like grow the sport by bringing people in through the shorter distance, because that's the most intimidating part, is getting past the first race.
Yep. Just getting to the start line is
Yeah.
the hardest part.
Yeah. And I think people will figure out pretty quickly, like, there's a huge accomplishment in that short course. Even, get through that, accomplish that, grow, and then come back and do one of the other distances, or come back and do the short course again. Nothing wrong with that. But I think the fact that you all have that now is freaking awesome.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and we've seen some people who did the short course and are coming back and doing a longer distance, whether it's the mid distance or the long distance. So, yeah.
Well, one thing I know for sure, I know it's in October, so we're a little over 2 months out, right around about 2 months out.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to do a full preview episode for that.
Yes.
So we're gonna have to be talking to you guys about that for
Yeah.
sure. So
Awesome.
So Phil basically picks out the roads, and then he makes you ride them. Is that what we're?
Yeah,
And
combination.
then
Right.
basically, and then when you get done, he's like, "How was that?" And then if you're like cursing him out, he's like, "Yeah, we're keeping
that's
that
the
one.
one.
That's the one."
I'll tell you what, the first year that I did Unbound, I think it was in April of that year, a few friends came up and we rode the 100-mile Opal Wapoo route from the previous year, which I had never ridden before.
Mhm.
I'd never ridden 100 miles out here. And I just remember thinking, oh my gosh, like, kudos to people who ride that in 90-degree weather, because that was a lot.
Yeah.
Well, I think you got the short end of the stick on that deal. You got to figure out how to turn the tables on Phil.
Yeah.
So
Just be like, Phil, I'm going to pick the road now.
Right.
Yeah.
So, anything else exciting going on in Excelsior Springs that our listeners need to know about?
Well, I mentioned earlier about the mountain bike trails. So that's a new exciting thing. In Phil's past, before he and I even knew each other, he was trail steward at the Blue River Parkway trails.
Nice.
I think, designed and built a decent amount of that trail system and worked with Urban Trail Company. And so when I met him, he was primarily a mountain biker. And Excelsior, we talk about the hills, is built in a valley, and there's just bluffs surrounding the town. And you can, of course, I didn't until Phil mentioned this, but you can just envision mountain bike trails just around the city and how cool that would be. And there's 100 acres of wooded land that's actually not far from the airport. The race started from the airport a couple of years. And so it was a really long process of working with the city and Urban Trail Company and Parks and Rec to get the MOU signed. But once it was, Phil's trail steward and designed the trail and went out and walked through the woods, marking where trails could go, looking at topo maps, similar to the Opal Wapoo route. I mean, he was just constantly looking at the maps and over at the trails. And I think it was October of last year that we had our first trail work day. In October through the winter, we had as many trail work days as we could, weather allowing, and built just shy of 3 miles of trail since October. So
That's awesome.
we've got an outer loop open, and then we've got a new inner loop that just opened, I think, about a month ago. That got 100% complete. So we're really excited to have it up here. Whenever it got put on Urban Trail's website, Urban Trail Company's website, and the Rainout app, we started noticing more people coming up and learning it because they were seeing it in the app and they wanted to come check it out. And of course, for people to continually drive up here, having just shy of 3 miles is a challenge, but it's a brand new trail, which trails take a ton of time to build, right? And so this winter, we'll see how much more we can get built. This area is a phase 1, and there's a phase 2 that's in another patch of land that's very close to phase 1. And we're hoping over time that we can work with some easements and such to get even more trails around Excelsior. So the really cool thing would be is to see people park downtown and mountain bike, and there'd be a connector near downtown. But even until then, Sunday morning, we were mountain biking. There were 3 of us mountain biking. There was somebody running, and then there was another person that showed up with mountain bikes. So for us, it's just really neat to see people coming up and using it. And proceeds from Opal Wapoo went directly to Urban Trail Company to fund the equipment and tools to help build these trails. So that was something that was directly attributable to Opal Wapoo. And then we're hoping to put the race through the outer loop of the single track. So it's been super fun to have. I had said I was never a big mountain biker. I'd mountain biked a few times, and this was almost 2 years ago now. I'd said that I'd wait to buy a mountain bike until we had trails here because it's rideable from our house.
Yeah.
2 years ago, we went and rode in Bentonville, and I got the bug, and I'm like, I'm mountain bike now. So I've had one for almost 2 years, and so having the trails here is it's awesome. But of course, I'm speaking selfishly because I love having them here. But that's the kind of thing that for the town could be huge.
Yep.
Like a town like Excelsior Springs in the downtown business district, we're just wanting to bring more people up to experience Excelsior Springs. So throughout the summer, we see people parked on Broadway. We'll see people going down our road, which our road will access a lot of the gravel. So we'll see people coming into town just to ride gravel, and now we're also seeing that with mountain biking. So that's been pretty awesome to see, and that's I say we, but to be honest, it's all Phil. We've had group work days, but he has spent so many of his days off where he's over at the trails for 3, 4, 5 hours just working on them himself. So he's done a ton to make that happen, and so it's been pretty fun to be a part of that side of trail building.
Yeah. I also noticed too, like, some towns like, we ride a lot in Smithville. There's like, I would say maybe 70-30 like us there. 70% of the people like us there, and there's about 30% that pretty much would wish we would ride somewhere else. But basically in the ditch somewhere else. But in Excelsior, I've noticed, like, when anytime there's a just a like group ride that you guys have put on, the times that we've been up for Opal Wapoo, like the whole town is kind of like getting behind it. And I think that's a testament to, one, them seeing the kind of benefits of having, you know, cyclists come to their town. But then it keeps feeding it, because then it's like, well, you know, if I go and ride in Excelsior, I know like people aren't going to throw Gatorade bottles at my
Right.
head while I'm riding down the
Hey,
road.
that happened last week. Not at Excelsior.
Not Excelsior, but
Well, but I would also throw one more in there if I can.
Yeah, go for it.
I would say it's also a testament to Stacy, what you and Phil have done. Like, you've really kind of shined a light on the importance of that cycling can have on a community. And
Yeah.
when you bring like all of that together and you get the community behind it, like
Yeah.
you guys are doing, like, I don't know. I said this to Phil, I think at Open Range, we were chatting with him a little bit. There's a lot of people that talk about doing a lot of things and they have really good ideas, and then there's people that can actually go execute them and get them done. And what you guys are doing up there, like, there's not enough credit being given right now to what you all have accomplished so far and what you're about to accomplish. And I hope that anybody that listens to this has a chance to go up and ride the trails and, you know, donate time, donate money, whatever you can, but definitely go ride the, if you can't do anything, go ride the trails, because that'll show the interest that the community has. And you know, spend a few bucks in downtown wouldn't hurt either. But all seriousness, like, go ride the trails, because when people see them getting used and being used consistently, it's just going to continue to help it grow. And what you all have done up there is nothing short of incredible. So
Yeah,
and
as far as coming to ride the trails and supporting the businesses downtown, we haven't come across a downtown business owner that hasn't all out supported this and want these things to happen, because they know that they benefit from it. So they've been really awesome to work with. And the race, Opal Wapoo, is now owned by, it's called DEP. It's the Downtown Excelsior Partnership, which is the Main Street organization in Excelsior, which Phil's gotten really involved in, and Lindsay's done a lot to help plan the race. And that has helped bring a lot more visibility in Excelsior, because really it's in a community, it's about having reasons for people to come visit.
Yeah.
What we see, because we're involved in sports and endurance and recreational activities, we've seen, we've all traveled to towns to ride or race, or I don't know if you guys have mountain biked much, but we, you know, go down to Bentonville to mountain bike, and we've seen what can happen with communities when you give reasons for people to come and visit. And so that was a huge goal, is just, it was really born from Phil's passion for Excelsior. He grew up in small town Iowa, and so living in Excelsior for him was kind of a dream. And so that was the goal, is to give people reasons to come to Excelsior and also witness what's so cool about Excelsior Springs.
Yeah, you're just, you know, like, you know, we you know, to link it kind of like to Emporia, like when people hear that you're riding in Unbound and you're from out of town, and they're just, you know, they're like, man, I don't even want to drive my truck through those places, and you're going to ride your bike through it. It's just, you know, they get an appreciation for what you're doing. And then you're like, and then we were telling them, we're like, yeah, but it's so beautiful out there. Like, where else do I get to like go and ride and see these views or see this kind of stuff? Like, it's this, you know, mutual kind of respect for everything that's going on here. Like, you're the locals get to show off their local, you know, views and roads and all that stuff, and then the locals get the, you know, the enthusiasm from, you know, the riders and stuff, going like, oh man, this place is beautiful, and they're like, that's what I've been trying to tell you. So yeah, it's a great thing that you guys are doing up there. And again, if you haven't signed up for Opal Wapoo, there's going to be a link in this episode. There will be a link in the description for you to go and sign up for Opal Wapoo. Sign up for any distance. They're all going to be fun.
That's right.
We're going to be doing the long distance because we just don't know how to. Yeah, we just don't know how to stop.
Yeah, I need an intervention.
Yeah, we need an intervention.
I think we all need an intervention. Or maybe we don't, because
I'll be honest. I'll be honest with you, Stacy. Typically by October, and maybe this applies to people listening too. So typically by October, I'm kind of done. Like, I'm kind of ready to be done with the season. Not because I don't want to ride anymore, but because it's such a long season, right? I mean, we're fortunate here in the Midwest where we are. We get to ride from really March all the way up until October, even into November if the weather cooperates.
Yeah.
And there's so many events, and Travis, we joke about it, but like we typically try to do all the long distance events, which that's shame on us.
Which we've decided
new rule.
On the last race, we decided that it's not an A or B event, and it's just a C event. We're riding the shortest distance possible.
That's right. That's right. Unfortunately for me, though, Opal Wapoo is a event because it's so. Now, getting back to where I was going, is it's late enough in the season. Like I've personally had a bit of a rocky year this year, so
this is a redemption arc.
Yeah, Opal Wapoo has given me the reason to reshape my training in the back half of the season because it's only July. We're not even in August yet.
I know. You got time.
So I got time. Like there's time. So if you're sitting here on the fence and you're like, I don't know, do I really want to do a race in October? Yes, you want to do the race in October. You've got plenty of time. If you don't have the fitness now, you have plenty of time to build the fitness. Even if you just go do endurance rides, you're ready. You'll be ready by October.
Yep.
Sign up, get on the list, and get in there and go ride one of the distances. You're going to enjoy it.
Yep.
So you're talking about A and B and C races, and I don't know if this just kind of dawned on me. I know in my past life, 2023 was when I started concentrating on cycling. Up until then, I ran marathons, half marathons, triathlon. I would have one A race a year if I was lucky, which would be a marathon. I'd either do a long build up to it, or maybe I'd do a spring half marathon, a fall half marathon. Gravel has brought in like 10 A races a year.
You can't peak for them all. You have to just go. I think what gravel does is just breed that consistency.
Yeah. Well, and it brings like it's way more of an endurance aspect than even marathons for me. And so once you have that endurance built up, you might as well just keep putting it to good use, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Don't let it go. Go stale like Danny has for this season.
But wait, Danny, is it the fitness or the nutrition?
No, it's fitness this year. Nutrition was last year.
Yeah.
Next year, we don't know. We haven't decided.
I'm planning my excuses now.
It just might be equipment then.
Can't be equipment. I mean,
I got
excuse
the new. You'll get some new tires. They'll start flatting like mine, and there'll all be equipment issues.
It was fitness for me, and I'm actually I think we're gonna have an episode on this when it slows down a little bit about training mistakes that I made this year, and it has to do with a combination of things, but it has a lot to do with technology that's now available that I think send people down rabbit holes. It sent me down one, and I'm not afraid to say it. And I think I made a few mistakes along the way. So, but I think that's a future episode for sure, because let's just say it this way: nothing beats consistency, and nothing beats a good, solid plan that you can trust. So, that's
one that you believe in.
That's right. That's the best plan. We've talked about that countless times.
Yep.
So. You brought up a good point about your prior to gravel, which is a great segue, I think, into a rapid fire segment. If that's okay. You mind if we do a little rapid fire?
Yeah.
So I'll just got to preface this for everybody.
This isn't us.
This isn't us.
This is AI.
This is all AI.
This
all right.
Is AI.
So this is Claude. Claude likes to ask some tough questions.
Yeah. He's a lot more. I'm more spicier than ChatGPT.
Yeah. So the first question is you mentioned you're a runner. Is there really such a thing as a runner's high?
Yes.
You lie.
You lie. Liar.
I don't have anything close to that right now. Anytime that I run, I have lost I'll get back there. But right now I've lost the ability to have a runner's high because I gave up my running fitness. But absolutely, man, there'd be times where I'd just be training for a marathon and you just go out on your 6th run of the week and it's just like butter, like you're just flowing.
Butter.
No.
You're barely
never.
when you get out of bed, but when you start running, it's just smooth and.
All right.
Nope.
So I gotta confess, that was just me wanting to know. That was not Claude. I had to know. I feel like I've been lied to.
I'm a firm believer as the couple marathons that I've trained for, the countless half marathons that I've trained for, the myriad of triathlons that I've trained for, I've never had the runner's high.
Yeah.
Except for that one time. What was it? 2 years ago, we ran that half marathon when I was sick. I think I'd overdosed on. I think that was an actual high from the cough medicine. Yeah, from the decongestant and the cough medicine.
Yeah. I mean, you were effectively guzzling down the precursor to methamphetamine. So
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
I think that was.
I'm pretty sure that was actually being high, not the runner's high.
Oh my gosh! All right, back into the rapid fire. So name the training session that actually changed you, not the hardest, but the one where something clicked.
How long do I have to think about this?
Oh, you get rapid fire.
It's rapid fire. You gotta go.
Whatever pops in your mind.
Training session.
It could be a race.
One of the first bike interval sessions that I ever did when I was training for my first half Ironman. I'd never done bike intervals before. I didn't even have a smart trainer. We did it all based on, gosh, I didn't even have a heart rate monitor. How did my coach even do that? But I remember just being done with that workout and yeah, I'd never felt that before. I'd never really done a lot of interval training before then.
It is an eye-opening experience when you start consistently working intervals in, structured intervals in, instead of just going out and saying, "Oh, I'm going to do
I'm just going to ride 80 miles." Yeah. Or I'm going to ride 40 miles. Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
What's the last workout you bailed on? What was the story you told yourself? And then what was the real reason?
Last week, I bailed on an interval session Wednesday night. And real reason and the reason I told myself?
Well, yeah.
The real reason was because I started riding at 7 p.m.
Okay.
And the reason I told myself was, it's okay. It's a mountain bike workout. It's basically intervals anyway.
That's good.
I find if I work out late at night, like 7, if I do intervals, I'll be up like way later. It just, for whatever reason, it just amps me up and it takes me a long time to kind of cool down.
Yeah. My HRV the next morning is usually just tanked.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
All right. So there's a section of Opal Wapoo that you all have kept in purely because it's funny to watch people find out which one and what's the average face they make. What's the section and what's the average
I know
face
the
they
section. I know exactly which one.
Let her answer. And then you can answer.
There's a hill it's called Norris Road as you're heading towards a little town called Rayville. We've had the KOM QOM on it before.
Yeah.
You go through a low water crossing, and that low water crossing is just enough to suck every bit of momentum out of your wheels. And then you hit the steepest,
gnarliest section
that you've ever ridden.
And it's off camber too, so it slopes to one side. Yeah. It's not. I know. Yeah, that's exactly the one I was thinking of. And we've ridden down it and up it.
The down is almost worse than the up because it's so steep that it can get you almost have to mountain bike down it where you hang behind your seat.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I would agree with that. That's a good one. I mean, but that's also, again, that's the character that we love in Opal Wapoo. So, it'd be a crime to ever take that away.
Yeah.
That hill gets to 15-16%.
There are sections, at least in one of the original courses, I remember. So I can remember seeing on my Garmin it went to 18%. I'm like, holy crap! Like, insane.
I'm like, how do cars even get up this?
You know what's funny? Remember the first time I rode Opal Wapoo on the I rode it on my Specialized Roubaix with 28-inch tires.
Yeah, I have pictures of that where he's coming up by the church and there's that. Oh man, I want to say I forget the name of the town, but it's just a little soft road that just kind of winds its way up the hill, and then you get to the top, and there's a graveyard and a church, and it's old, and he looks like death coming up it.
Yeah. Let's not talk about that.
Appropriate that he was arriving at a graveyard then.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. All right. So if your bike testified against you in court, what's the one detail that ends you?
that I've never calibrated my power meter.
Oh my God. Are you kidding me?
It seems to work fine.
Yeah, that would be the one.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
That's
I've never
so awesome. I've
calibrated.
never calibrated. It's fine.
It's good.
It's good.
Man, Stacy's putting out like 1,400 watts. Like,
Yeah.
jeez.
Crush it. She's like, you guys aren't riding 400 watts?
This is the tactic so that anybody that's creeping on her Strava as they go into Pony Express,
Yeah.
like, look out. So
Yeah,
you
it's
start
all-
seeing 4 hour, 400 watt efforts. We're going to know. All right. Last one. So think about the version of you who showed up to your first gravel race with no idea what you were doing. What would you go back and tell that person?
Oh boy. I went into my first gravel race in a humorous way. I would tell myself to enjoy it more because that's my future. I was still a runner at the time, and I entered the race about a week before. And we
Yeah.
threw together a Franken bike, and it was a really hard race. And I had no idea that I would turn to gravel in the future. That
Yeah.
was 2018 or 19, I think.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad you didn't say like, stop, don't do it. What are you thinking?
Run.
Run.
Yeah, I don't even remember, but I remember the night before the race, I was riding, it was in the Black Hills, and we'd been riding for a week, and I was on a borrowed old cross bike, and the bottom bracket just pooped out the day before the race. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. I won't even ride it. And they're like, oh no, we're putting a bike together for you, and put together a red line frame with a mountain bike crank. And I don't even remember what the cassette was.
Oh my goodness.
It does sound like a Franken
I mean,
bike.
back downhill, I couldn't even pedal because I was spinning out.
Nice.
Oh my gosh.
Nice. That's awesome. Well, good stuff.
Yeah.
So
Good. Enjoy it more. Yeah.
that's right.
I mean, I think, some of the best times, even when, I do give, you guys a lot of grief about all the hills and stuff, but I do enjoy the routes out there in Excelsior Springs. It's very, again, it's challenging, it's fun, and you do get to see some cool stuff out there.
Yeah.
And you get to go on a little adventure. Like Phil says, like he's more of, especially if you guys have never, that are listening, who've never done Opal Wapoo, Phil is not so much the racing part of gravel. He likes to be the adventure part of gravel. Mm-hmm. So you're going to be on an adventure.
Yeah.
So, and that's what I think, that's what kind of draws us back to this race. Cause
sure.
There's a lot of times where I don't know where we are on that route.
That's true. I mean, it's
and
I've
ridden it, I don't know, maybe like 5 times.
Yeah.
I've ridden portions of it a lot. I know sections of it, but I couldn't tell you where we are.
Yeah. I mean, you could show me on a GPS map or on a map, show me the GPS. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know where we are.
Yeah. And you do feel like you're in the middle of nowhere a few times, which is freaking awesome.
Yeah. So. Which is great.
And the roads don't really follow your traditional grid pattern.
Right.
They snake and wind and tree tunnels, and it's really a really cool layout. They follow the lay of the land, which I think I'd said earlier, we're right on the edge of the river bluff, so that's where all the ups and downs come from.
Mm-hmm.
And it's totally unique up here. At least we think it is.
Yeah, I think so. It is too. I haven't ridden anywhere that's close to that.
It's a nice hidden gem in the area for sure. So cool.
So, all right. Well, thank you very much, Stacy, for coming on. Again, thanks everybody for listening. Thanks everybody for coming up and talking to us, and all the support and all that stuff. Everyone, link in the description for Opal Wapoo. Sign up if you haven't signed up yet. Yeah. You don't have to do the long distance. It's okay.
Yeah.
There's me and Danny. We're doing it.
Yeah, we'll be there.
We're committed. So you guys don't have to.
That's
but
right.
At least sign up. Support Excelsior Springs. you'll ride it once and then you'll see what we're talking about. You'll see the coolness
Beauty
that
of
is
it.
that place. It's a great place, and Phil and Stacy in downtown Excelsior are doing a lot of work to make it a little cycling hub.
Yeah.
So support that, and thank you all, and we'll see you next week.